made an announcement that encouraged some people to invite Elon Musk to the country. They announced that in the Rizi district of Jammu and Kashmir, almost 6 million tons of lithium was found. The thing is, lithium is considered to be white gold. From the battery in your smartphone to the electric vehicles, everything that uses lithium-ion batteries drives up the demand for lithium. Today, it has become a highly valuable natural resource. According to one estimate, if you look at the global lithium reserves, the country with the highest reserves is Chile at number 1 with 9.2 million ton reserves, followed by Australia, second, at 5.7 million tons. Does this mean that now India has the second largest reserves of lithium? Does this mean that the nation has hit a lottery? Similar to how the Gulf countries became rich due to oil reserves, can India become rich due to the lithium reserves? In this video, let's try to answer all such questions. India has announced its first significant discovery of reserves of lithium, a rare mineral crucial for manufacturing of electric vehicles. In Jek's Rizi district, for the first time, India has found 5.9 million tons of lithium reserves. Lithium batteries in tube baggage which goes into the hold. Lithium reserve has been discovered. Let's clear up one thing. There's no uncertainty that lithium is an extremely valuable metal. All smartphones, irrespective of the brand, your phone has either a lithium-ion battery or lithium-ion battery or lithium polymer battery. Additionally, any electric vehicle that is manufactured today by any company, almost every one of them has a lithium battery. This is because in comparison to the other types of batteries, such as lead-acid batteries, the lifespan of lithium batteries is almost 10 times longer. They weigh about 50-60s lighter and have higher efficiency. So much so that for storing renewable energy, power grids are also using lithium batteries. In India, almost Rasadi, 8 billion worth of lithium batteries and our own 0.7 billion worth of lithium metal was imported from other countries in 2020-21. And the global lithium market, its total value in 2021 was $600 billion. It is projected that by 2028, its value would cross 3 trillion. Its value would cross our own 0.3 trillion. As people move away from petrol and diesel vehicles towards electric vehicles, as solar and wind energy are used more, replacing coal power plants, we will see a growth in lithium demand. The lithium reserves discovered in Jik have been categorized as infrared resources. Resources whose quantity and quality can be estimated, but we cannot say for sure the quantity of lithium reserves actually present here or the quality of the lithium, or whether it will be economically possible to mine it or not. We don't know this. The costs, the environmental impact, we don't know much about these. Look at this graph. On top of infrared resources are the indicated resources, and then measured resources, proven resources, probable resources. Y-axis represents how much we know about the geological area, and the x-axis represents other factors, such as whether it'll be economically possible to mine or not. The Ecological Survey of India has put it into the G3 category of initial assessment. They've claimed that more research and studies are needed to take it up to the GON or CHU categories. Once they reach those categories, they can be considered mineable reserves. Only after that, the Ministry of Mines would be able to know the exact tonnage of lithium present, how much of it could be extracted, its quality. But to reach this stage, friends, it can take up to 5-7 years before we can commercially exploit. 2 years ago, in 2021, similar news came from Karnataka when the government announced that they found 1,600 tons of lithium. Even that was in the infrared category. But in the current news, the quantity of lithium is much higher, and so it is significantly more important. At the beginning of the video, I told you that the largest lithium reserves are in Chile in South America, at 9.2 million tons. Second, in Australia, at 5.7 million tons. Does this mean that India is now in the second spot? Not yet, because the reserve is still in the category of inferred resources. If you compare with this logic, Bolivia has the largest lithium reserves in the category of inferred resources, 21 million tons. The global known supply is at 89 million tons. Even so, it means that in India, 5.5 of the global lithium reserves are present. That's a huge number. If the top players in the lithium industry are compared, more than half of the global lithium reserves are in 3 South American countries: Chile, Argentina, and Bolivia. On the other hand, China is the #1 player of producing lithium-ion batteries. Of all the lithium batteries produced worldwide, more than 75 of it are produced in China. According to a recent study by an international energy agency, China controls 58% of the lithium processing globally. In the second spot is Chile at 29% and Argentina at the third with 10%. In terms of lithium extraction, Australia's share is the highest at 52%, followed by Chile at 22%. And it is interesting to note that China has not discovered many lithium reserves, but lithium processing is the highest in China. They have focused so much to develop this industry. Obviously, there's a high environmental cost of lithium mining. Similar to mining for other resources, lithium mining produces water, soil, and air pollution too. The process of extracting lithium from its ore is water intensive. A lot of water is wasted for this. According to an estimate, to produce 1 ton of lithium, 2.2 million liters of water is required. The same amount of water in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Second, lithium is often extracted from hard rocks and underground brine reservoirs. This begs the question, will lithium mining increase the chances of incidents like Joshimath? We will if the government ignores its environmental impact. Third, what about the air and soil pollution produced by mining? It is true that lithium is being used to manufacture electric vehicles and electric batteries that is reducing the overall carbon emissions. But here, we cannot ignore the carbon emissions from mining. We will have to balance it all. We will have to evaluate the negatives and how we can counter them. In countries like Argentina and Bolivia, people have been protesting the adverse environmental impact. But for a second, if we believe that the discovered 6 million tons of reserves become proven reserves, and it'll be economically profitable to mine them, it won't have a high adverse environmental impact, and that everything's accounted for. How will this impact the Indian economy and geopolitics? This is the most interesting part, because if we work with these assumptions, the situation would be very similar to that in the Gulf countries that hit the jackpot when they found oil reserves. It is interesting to see that historically, reactions of various industries and its impact when wholesome natural resources were found in any country. There are several positive examples of this. Apart from the Gulf countries, oil was discovered in Norway, Australia, countries like Botswana and Rwanda, which developed a lot. But at the same time, there are opposite examples too. Countries for whom their natural resources have become a curse, where the country had to face misfortune because of that, such as Congo, Bolivia, and Netherlands. The case of the Netherlands is so famous that the phenomenon is named after it, the Dutch disease. What is this Dutch disease? It can also be known as the resource curse, a disease that is seen in countries that have an abundance of natural resources. It might seem like that country should become rich due to the natural resources, but it doesn't happen. In 1977, The Economist magazine used the phrase "the Dutch diseases" to explain the case of the Netherlands. Actually, in 1959, large gas reserves were discovered in the Netherlands. They began exporting natural gas. It helped the economy, but about 10 years later, during the period 1970-1977, the unemployment rate increased up to 5.1. The private sector investment decreased. The economists were confused about what happened. The gas that was found, what did a bane or a curse? Would you agree if I say that the treasure was cursed? The impact can be seen in two ways. First, when the country has high quantities of natural resources, and the natural resources are imported to other countries. This means an inflow of foreign investments. If the exports of natural resources are high, enticing foreign entities to invest in the country, it leads to an appreciation of the currency's price. In the case of the Netherlands, you can assume that their currency will be stronger. Strengthening of the currency can be considered a good thing, but as I explained in the $1 zone video, fluctuations in the currency exchange rates cannot be seen in absolute terms. Some industries benefit from this while others suffer. If the value of our nation's currency increases, people who are exporting other products will suffer, because everything that is being exported would become expensive. This will impact the other sectors